Well, good afternoon, butterflies and friends, and Brother Mark with yet another errand running episode of Butterflies in Life. But what if I'm wrong? Huh? Well, I got a little little trivia. As I need to get my ears lowered and pick up and then run some other errands. But you know you're from Ohio if you correctly pronounce these towns: Manaway, Bell Fountain, Mariemont, Buchtel, Chansey, Gallipolis, and Delhi, and the Huff neighborhood. That was rather embarrassing. The Huff neighborhood is actually spelled Hough, and when he was still president, John Carroll, Father Niehoff, was working a social service project, and we had a whole crew of volunteers, students and alumni, doing some work in the community, and he absolutely mispronounced it and got lots of grief over it, and then finally said, "How do I pronounce it?" One of the older alumni said, "Okay, Father, go to the head of the class." So he took it gracefully. Another geographical blunder was actually done by none other by Bob Morrison, who was then the now retired pastor from a Nazarene church in Columbus, and he was doing a sermon. They was referencing the Revolutionary War, and unfortunately, he was referring to Fort Schuyler. And after the sermon, I said, "Well, Fort Schuyler was actually how my dad got his name." Oops, sorry, Mark. Don't worry, Pastor. You didn't blaspheme the Holy Spirit. We'll let you get away with it. Now, obviously, I could mispronounce Cobleskill, New York, if I didn't know the area. I have mispronounced the Dutch country, the Netherlands. I have mispronounced Nederland, Texas, and Nederland, Colorado. Now, does that mean I'm a bad, unworthy person? Nah, just goes back to the old saying, it's just because I made a mistake does not mean I am one. Sometimes there's that fear of being wrong. Oh boy, I know that character defect like I know it yesterday. And somehow I can still remember Mrs. Gunn talking about how bad mistakes were. You made all these mistakes. And when there was all these red marks. No, don't get me wrong. And Mrs. Gunn was a delightful teacher. I still have very fond memories of her. And what she did well. She loved her students. But I guess this learning disabled kid who didn't know what learning disabilities was felt that his self-esteem was reflected on the number of red X's on his paper in school. My dad couldn't convince me that just because I make mistakes, this doesn't mean that I am a mistake. Instead, I kind of took it personally. It doesn't help in third grade where I was chewed out and berated. And there was this fear that I had to be right. Or what if I were wrong? Would hell really open me up if I heard a divergent political opinion? Boy, those fears can be really, really addicting. What happens if I am wrong? Well, just because you made a mistake does not mean you are one. I know I'm keenly aware in my own personal recovery and dealing with my own learning disabilities, having to trying to get the last word in. And I've done some major blown-its. I could sit there and beat myself up about not being able to live life at its fullest. I could beat myself up about and not being fully employed. I could beat myself up, and even though I was wrong, I could still beat myself up, and somebody wisely reminded me that I was dealing with the limited information that I had at the time, so I didn't know. So I have to remember that old adage: just because I made a mistake does not mean I am one. And I can look at mistakes instead of something to be feared and to be dreaded. I can look at them really as learning opportunities. A company I worked for on their quality rating scales for their calls they had excellent, good, fair, and then needs improvement. They didn't want to look at the poor, and I think the quality team was absolutely right. They didn't want reps beating themselves up because they messed up on a call. They would much rather say, how could I get it right next time? And maybe I did make some mistakes, and maybe I perceived things wrong. Well, from my own experience, I have to not beat myself up, and I have to say, what can I learn from this? What areas of my life can I improve on? What relationships can I really work on and trying to improve? And I can't do it all. And that's why recovery is only done one day at a time. And that's why I have to kind of prioritize. Say, well, I can't deal with. I can handle this issue today, and that at least helps me get a handle on it. So that helps. What if I were wrong about something? I could stand corrected. Maybe I need to make amends. It's hard. I get it. But that's the lessons I've had to learn is if I make mistakes, well, first off, if we confess our sins, He's just and right to forgive us. Number one, for some of those who have similar higher powers. And then there are also people who have learned from their mistakes and be able to help others along the way. And maybe that helps. And then there's communities, and then there's encouragement, and then accountability. And I also have to remind myself what's right with me. And that for many years felt like learning Russian, language and all, and Cyrillics and all. And I can remember many years ago in an AA meeting, I came in and was beating myself about my situation, my struggling to get sober. And somebody said, Mark, I know what's wrong with you. The group knows what's wrong with you. Now what's right with you? Mother. So we have to realize we all have talents. Especially the butterflies. I mean, hey, there's a lot being said, going from an ugly caterpillar to being a beautiful butterfly. There's lots of hard lessons to learn along the way, but hey, don't let a few bumps in the road stop you. And if you're wrong, hey, might suggest you maybe make us a learning experience. What can I learn from this? So maybe that's a thought. Yeah, one brother's opinion. I don't have any magical answers, but that's some of the wisdom that I've heard over the years. Well, it's time for me to stop in the Walgreens to get some prescriptions refilled, and get my ears lowered. But as always, always hit that subscribe button and that like, and because and then if there's anything that I can always talk about, this is your page. You let me know, and I'll see what I can do for. I will talk to you later.